Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Alrighty. Welcome to another live stream. I am so happy that you are here, whether you are with me on this live stream or you're catching me on the replay. Welcome to the live stream. If you have missed this week, then I will encourage you to go back and view the content for this week, because I know that you're going to find something of value. I know that you're going to find something that you can use to learn and to grow. If you don't know who I am, my name is Waveney. I'm a leadership mindset coach, and I help managers develop their mindset, their communication, and their work relationships so that they can become influential leaders. Because part of what I believe and part of what I do is I believe that you don't have to be overly popular. You don't have to be popular. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have all the things. You don't have to be born from a certain, into a certain family to make an impact in the world. I believe that just by virtue of the fact that you are a leader within your own right, whether you are a leader at work, you're in a management role, or maybe you are in your church, or wherever you are, in whatever capacity that you are a leader, I think that you have the ability to make a difference. You have the ability to make a difference in your life and in the lives of the people around you. And I live by this. I want that, at the end of the day, that I leave people with a feeling of increase. I leave people better than I found them, right? This is what I hope to do. And so this evening I am going to speak to you on the topic, and it's called Always Know Your Outcome. Now you may be saying, how do I know my outcome? Always know your outcome. And within the realm of coaching, coaches believe, and I believe, that the client has the answer. The client has the answer. And the responsibility for change lies with you. As a coach, I am just here to guide and help support you by providing mentorship, by giving you guidance, but most importantly, by asking dynamic questions, questions that get you to that point. And so you have the outcome, you have the answer. And because you have the answer, you always know your outcome, because you're responsible for your life and your career. You have it, you already have it. And if you still don't know, have you ever had a conversation with a friend, right? Perhaps you're going through something, maybe a relationship issue, and you're so upset, you're so, you're in your feelings about it, as we say. And by talking to that friend, you realize, hey, well, yeah, I could do this or I could do that. And, just by talking to the person, maybe it's something they say, maybe it's, or them just listening, we realize that we have all the information, right? And it's just a powerful moment. And so what I find is that people love to tell you what they don't want. They love to tell you that what they don't want. If you ask somebody what they want out of life, or they want out, in this context we're talking about their career, what do you want from your career, they're going to tell you what they don't want, right? And then if you're talking to a friend, people also like to tell you what they can't control. It's always what they don't want. It's always the thing that gets them away. They have the goal, I can't remember the correct term for it, but they have a goal and they know what the goal is, but they tell you all the things they don't want about that goal, right? And so they'll tell you what they don't want, they tell you about all the things that they can't control, and out of the many things that people will tell you um, that they can't control, one of the things they do tell you about is their career. Many people still walk around and they believe, consciously or subconsciously, that their career lies in the hands of their leader. Their career lies in the hands of someone else. Their career lies outside of them. And last night I spoke about, what did I speak about? The map is not the territory, and I spoke about persons always thinking that the issue is outside of them. So you might want to go and view that, like I mentioned. But many people think that their career, they're getting through in their career, they're getting success in their career. It's always predicated on somebody else except them. And this is a huge lie. It's a huge lie because, remember I told you at the beginning, you have the answer. I was talking about it in a coaching context, but really, you have the answer. You know what you need to do. You already have the answer. It's just that you probably need some awareness around that. And that is what I'm here for. And you can control your career because firstly it's your career, it's your life. You know what direction you're headed, you know what's best for you. All of it is really about you. And this may be the first time you're hearing a message such as this, or maybe you have heard this message, but maybe you need to hear it again to believe it. You control the value that you bring into the equation, because work is about value. I don't want you to just see it as you're doing work. You are providing a value. And the more you learn, the more you grow. You are adding more value to yourself, and you're being more valuable to the people around you, and of course your employer. You control your visibility, right? You control your value, you control your visibility. You control whether or not, whenever there's a work function, you control whether or not you're going to that function. When there is a project coming up, you control whether or not you raise your hand. Or if you are told that you're going to be on the project, maybe you don't have a choice, maybe it's mandatory, you control how much effort you put into that project, right? You control the opportunities. You can either choose to be on TikTok all evening, or you can spend 30 minutes to an hour on TikTok and go over on LinkedIn, read a couple articles, network with some people over there. You can choose to do that. Or you've chosen, and you've chosen well, to be here with me at the People's Brand, right? So you control your opportunities. By preparing and positioning yourself, you control your outcome. And that is why you control your career. And so it is said that luck, there's no such thing as luck. Luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. And you cannot wait until you get into a management role to start acting like a manager. You cannot wait to get into a management role to start acting like one. By then it's too late. By then it's too late, and one, even if you do get that opportunity, you have a heavy lift. You have a heavy lift. You have a strong learning curve, a huge learning curve that you have. And so if you're really serious about your career, you've seen everybody, you've seen all your friends getting promoted, you've seen all your friends maybe having great jobs, moving on, doing something with themselves, getting into their dream jobs, doing whatever they want to do, whether it is working for someone or for someone else, but for themselves. They have prepared and positioned themselves. They have created their own luck. They know the outcome because they are creating those circumstances, right? over the course of my career, I have positioned myself, and I've positioned myself even when it did not look like um, I was going to get a particular role. I've positioned myself even when a role didn't exist. I remember the first time, many of you know that my background is human resources, right? Um, and many of you also know I share the story that I don't have a college degree, right? I have a high school education, but I don't have a college degree. And I remember the first time I heard about this HR certification, and it was from a boss of mine. And we were chatting one day, and excuse me, let me get some water. We were chatting one day, and she said to me, Wave, you really should consider getting this certification. At the time, um, this certification was, yeah, it's still in the US. It's still US based. This is still HRCI, the HR certification. But it was named something different, like from my region, because the HR, just to digress a bit, the HR certifications, they have specific ones for the US, and then they have ones for those people practicing HR internationally. And I remember her telling me about it. It's the first time I heard about certification, and she told me I should consider it. And I started doing my research like I normally do. It was so expensive because it was expensive, and it's also self-study. Now, I'm from the Caribbean. In the US, they actually have university classes, they have college courses that help people with the certification prep. And I remember thinking, okay, I need to position myself. I love HR. I want to become more marketable. And I remember just, funding my stuff. Um, for those certification, that particular certification, you have to go to a testing center to do it. There's no testing center in my country. So I remember the closest place that I went was Puerto Rico, and I remember ordering my books, signing up, registering for the certificate for the exam. The exam is like close to maybe over 250 questions at the time. I think it was um, 250 multiple choice questions, right? And at the end of that exam, you know whether or not you pass or fail. Right there, you know whether you pass or fail. And I remember registering for the exam, buying all the books, um, creating a study schedule for me, traveling to Puerto Rico, going to the testing site. So that meant a hotel, right? That meant my flight. That meant all of that. And walking out of India passing, feeling very proud of myself, because I don't think I hadn't seen a lot of people on the island with that certification. Feeling very, very proud of myself, right? What's the point in sharing this story and my HR certification? It's that you position yourself. I could very easily say, well, I have a high school education. Well, I'm already in HR. Well, I already have a job. But that's not me. I love to learn, and I want to be the best at what I do. I want to be I have to be the best at what I do, right? And that's just a me thing. And so I position myself. I invested in myself. I've taken classes, even as late as last year. I've taken a 12-week class on emotional intelligence, because one, I've always been interested in emotional intelligence and learning more about it, and two, anything that I learn can benefit you. Anything that I learn I can share it with you. And so early as last year, I always set learning goals for myself, because the world is changing constantly. And if you want to be successful, if you want to create and bring value to every space which you occupy, this is a belief of mine, that one must bring value to every space that you occupy. Nobody wants to be around somebody who, you know, is what are they bringing to the table? You've heard that expression. Even having a simple conversation with someone that you've ever had a conversation with someone, I should ask, and maybe you're not talking about work, maybe it's just, life in general, but you walk away from that conversation feeling very empowered, you've learned something, maybe you got a resource, maybe whatever, you feel very empowered. It's a beautiful conversation. They've added value to your life. And so many times I've taken classes, I've invested in myself, in my development, and when there was no immediate gain, the position was not there. Um, Outside of getting more knowledge, my confidence grew, and this is something when you prepare yourself. If you are a bartender, if you, I don't know why that came up, you want to be the best. If you are, I think it was Martin Luther King who he has a quote, and I love that quote, and he says something to the effect like, if you are going to sweep the streets, you should sweep the streets like, he has a quote in there, something about the hosts of heaven, like you should do your absolute best. And that is something I think that um, is a characteristic of someone who is a success and who is an influential leader. Whatever you set out to do, you aim to be the best of it. You don't half-ass things. Just a moment ago, I was on a coaching, on my coaching practice call, um, my coaching certification, and we were doing a practice round, and something I was talking about an issue, and I was telling the person who was the coach, I can't half-ass anything. Many times when I am tired from my 9 to 5, sometimes I don't put out content, right? Because I can't half-ass things. I can't just pull stuff out of the air and just present it to you. I have to bring value. And I think that is why you love listening to me. That is why you love the content. That is why you walk away feeling satisfied. But I would also encourage you to do that wherever you are in your career, to always add value. And it doesn't, when I say that, I don't mean to add pressure, but what I do mean is to be intentional about, you showing up to work. And so other than when I invested in myself, I've gained knowledge, but it also grew my confidence. The more you are competent, the more confident you become. And confidence and competence are two things that will set you apart and will set you ahead. And both goes hand in hand. As a new leader, as someone who is new to management, or if you are somebody who, you want to get into management, one of the ways to grow your confidence, because you're going to start out with very little confidence, right? Very little confidence you're going to start out with. But one of the ways to grow is to really invest in your competence, know how to do the job that you have been entrusted to do. And so with this in mind, this is the reason that I created my coaching program that's called Emerge a Manager. Because yes, I have my signature coaching program, and I would have people. I got people reaching out, and they were not, because you need to be in a management role to be in the coaching program, communicate to influence, right? But what about those people who want to learn? What about those people who want to grow their career? I remember when I wish I had programs such as these, like Emerge a Manager. And so this is the reason why I created it. I created it to help people so that after they've gone through this program, they are poised, they are positioned, they are prepared to they know what to expect with being a manager, and that could be a foundation. And even if the role isn't there, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait um, for that role to appear. You don't have to wait for the position to be posted. You can start working on yourself now. Because here's the thing, when you start working on yourself, the energy around you, your vibe, what you do, the value that you bring, this is what will position you, and this is what people will see. The people who are the decision makers, this is what they will see and say, hey, this person will be perfect for that role, because they would have already had that perception of you, and they would already see that you are operating in the role. That is why I said you can't wait to be a manager when you become one. It's you can't, okay? And so by the time you're done, like the name says, you will emerge a manager. You will emerge that which you wish to be. And so this particular course, it is a digital course. You have it for life. It's in my People Brand store. If you're on Instagram, it is link is in my bio. If you're on Facebook, there's a link there as well. But if you are interested, you just send me a DM. I'll send you the link. Like I said, Emerge a Manager. It's a course. You can do it over the course of a month. And I didn't really want to make it complicated. You can do it, like I said, it over just 3 weeks to a month. And what it does is it gives you it tells you what you need to do to position yourself to get that management role. And that is a great foundation for you to have. Emerge a Manager. It used to be a hybrid course where you would have a coaching call with me and all that, but I decided to simplify it, and you can have that for life. And again, having been in management for 18 years, I know what people look for. Value, I listed them just out a moment ago. Value and visibility. Value and visibility. All right, people need to start seeing you as a leader for you to get that role. Now, mind you, politics, office politics, and who people, that also comes into being. But if you are intentional about your career, again, remember the topic of this is always know your outcome, and you decide your outcome. You can't just sit down and say, hey, well, you know, they probably have this person or that person. You have to position yourself. You have to get ready. Sometimes it, you know, and it has happened to me certainly. I used to believe that I wanted to be a director of HR so bad because I knew I would make a difference, right? And I always thought I would be a director of HR at this particular place that I worked. The opportunity didn't come until after. But when the opportunity came for me to be a director of HR, I was already positioned and ready. I was already positioned and ready. And every time I look back on my life and say, shit, if I had been given the opportunity, like at the time when I thought, like way back when I wasn't going to be ready, it would have been so difficult for me. I know that I would have learned, I know that I would grow, but it would be too much heavy lifting for me, and I don't think I was ready. And so I was intentional about positioning myself. I was intentional about my career because I understood that I owned my career. I own me. I am responsible for the changes in my life. I am responsible for my career. I am responsible for my outcome. And I want to leave you with that. You are responsible. Always know your outcome. You know your outcome because you control your destiny. I know it sounds cliche, but you control it because you are intentional, and you can be intentional about plotting your life. Now, yes, life does have twists and turns, but remember, luck is preparation plus the opportunity. You are preparing. You are preparing for when that time comes. There's no doubt, there will be no doubt in anybody's mind that you are the perfect candidate for that role. And so that is what I wanted to leave with you tonight. If you're just joining me, then you're gonna have to catch the replay. But emerge a manager. So this is for persons that just want to get ready for that role. And if you are already, maybe you're a new leader and you want to start there, that's fine as well. You can start with emerge a manager, and it's like I said, it's in my People Brand store. If you don't, I'll put the link below this video. But you can also send me a DM and I'll send you, and you have that for life. You have that for life as well. It's going to position you and prime you to be that which you wish to be. And so thank you so much for joining me. Share this out with a work bestie. Share this out with someone who have been talking about getting into management but don't know where to start. Send them this replay, the replay of this video, and send them the link. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.